This little thing is the Avant-Gardeometer for rap beats. I made it a little while ago. It's pretty popular on the channel. The basic idea is this. I wanted to figure out a way to celebrate and quantify in a semi-tongue-in-cheek, semi-serious way, like how far rap beats can go in terms of their production. How strange can they go? Because that's the way that the art form moves forward. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be recording right after this the top, maybe the top 8 old school avant-garde rap beats. You know, the ones that hit out here at 5, that help to change the culture, help to change the music, okay? I'm going to be dropping that on the day of my next child's birth. So I'm having a baby very soon, baby number 4. So you can say congratulations on that day when I drop that video. But it fascinates me, you know, because how do we get from, you know, Sucka MCs by Run DMC, to Jesus Walks, to a song like Sin Miedo by JPEGMafia. If you've been watching this channel, you know that I basically created this thing to try to figure out JPEGMafia or JPEGMafia adjacent beats. He's the king of the 5s, okay? And that's the way this whole thing works. It's not about quality, okay? You can have a bad beat that is avant-garde, and you can have a good beat that is not avant-garde, okay? But what interests me is when it stretches out at what I call the edge of listenability, okay? When you go past freak out, and again, this is all non-scientific, this is just my opinion. When you go past freak out, you end up in gibberish. You end up in basically an unlistenable territory. And that's what I thought about Sin Miedo by JPEGMafia. The king of the avant-garde rapometer, maybe he's gone too far. Now that was after my first listen. So the song came out, I don't know, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and I put it on, and it's just like, all right. 46, soon to be 47-year-old man. I don't need to be listening to this. I can get with I woke up and asked Siri how I'm gonna die. I can get with his last song, but this just seemed too far on the first listen. But still, I trust artists. I trust that once they display a skill, they always have that skill. So I gave it another shot this morning, and I listened to it again on my headphones, and I liked it a little bit more, but still, you know, this is an always positive new music review show hosted by a French professor. Thank you for checking in. That's the kind of channel this is, so I didn't want to just come on here and just say a song is kind of mid. And then there was the third listen, and that third listen happened without pressing play. That was a listen that happened inside my brain. I was putting dishes away. I just fed my baby, my current youngest, some muesli and some whole fat yogurt, and all of a sudden I had dan 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 dan, dan big booty hole dan dan dan. So I'm like, okay, he did it again, because that's how you know it's not gibberish. If it's catchy, if it connects with you, if it can stick in your head, then what I think he has done is he has pushed it to the absolute limit of freak out and gibberish. I think that's where the song is. I think it's as close as you can get. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to analyze this song. I'm going to break down the entire song like it's an album, because it basically changes every 10 to 30 seconds drastically. It has at least 3 different genres. It has all these samples, all these layers, all these things happening, which is why I said the JPEGMafia is the greatest producer of right now. And based on this and the previous song, it seems as though he may be keeping his title. We'll see. You know, Craven's coming out with a new album. Conductor Williams is always great. We'll have to see. So let's start off with just that first 30 seconds. The first 30 seconds, which really freaked me out and made me think it was just a bunch of gibberish, you know? Okay, what is it? It's just this dude going, big booty hose, touch the ground. Okay, it's a sample. It's a sample. I knew it was a sample. I knew it was probably from some southern booty band, and lo and behold, it's from the southern booty band, 2 Live Crew, who realistically, now that I think about it, I could probably put some 2 Live Crew on the avant-gardeometer for the 80s. I didn't, but I could. It's very subjective, you understand. So the lyrics that he's sampling, it's from Mr. Mix, not Luke Skywalker, not the most famous member of 2 Live Crew, from Mr. Mix, who says the following words: big booty hose, touch the ground. Okay, big booty hose, hop with it. Those are the words. And if you listen to the original sample, which I highly encourage you do, you see that Peggy, that Jamargaret here, has really gone in and just taken the sound out, taken it away from its rather stock, bouncy 90s Two Live Crew sound and made it something much more interesting. I believe this was also on the Friday soundtrack. We'll get more into famous hood movies before the end of this video. So, Big Booty Hoes, hop with it. Hoochie Mamas, hop with it. Let me see you touch the ground. The same basic idea. Now, what makes the song so avant-garde, to the point where I feared it might be gibberish, was at the beginning, there's no drums. There's like no rhythm. It's just big booty hoes, and then it's him just yelling these lyrics. It's for like 33 seconds. And listen, I'm hip. I'm with it. I've been listening to avant-garde and aggravating music my whole life. But just that first listen, it was just like, give me something more. You N-words is B-words. I don't want to kick it. Peggy, I aim for the fences. You N-words don't swing. You stacking up misses. You tweeting your business. We can't do no business. Dick riding is expensive. If you need an image, then baby don't listen. Keep bumping. Who the F is that? Fake plug talking. Tubi rappers got a machine behind them. They still can't fill up the capacity when they raps. Baby mama be a rap snack. Grew up white, now they act black. This follows with Don't Rely on Other Men, the last song that he released, as being the posture that he's taking is essentially that he's like the last samurai. He's the last real guy out there, and everyone else is fake. Everyone is on social media, and they're tweeting their business, and so you can't do it. Everyone else is just missing and dick riding, and he is just super hard, and he just aims for the fences, and they don't swing, and they just keep misses, right? It's great. This is, if you study the history of rap music, the essential statement of rap music is I am the best and you are not. Okay, this is very in keeping with that whole concept. This is essentially much like Sucker MCs by Run DMC, which is on the video that will be coming out when my fourth baby is born, just saying everyone else is a sucker and I'm not. Now, of course, maybe there's a way to read this as being aimed at potentially Drake, you know, grew up white, now they act black, you know, because he often is accused of that, but it doesn't really matter because then we go into this chorus. She's got issues with her father. I had issues with my barber. She's all off these drugs, coke in her butt. R.I.P. Aaron Carter. Just, I don't know. I don't know the layers to this. So you can tell me in the comments, what are the layers to this? I mean, she's got issues with her father. That makes sense. Often very promiscuous men and women are exercising some kind of childhood trauma or insecure attachment to a parent. That's often why they act out in bizarre ways, you know, doing drugs or having lots of sex, etc. I had issues with my barber. I assume that's because he often talks about being bald. Although in the video, which I'll talk about at the end, his hair looks really good. So he probably had some hair work done, and I don't criticize anybody for that. I was born lucky. I was born well-haired, and there's nothing funny about people like losing their hair and feeling bad about it. So if people can do something about it and feel good, that's awesome. But it is a little bit off kilter to have him saying this when it seems as though, you know, he's got his hair back, but doesn't matter. And then, you know, talking about off the drugs, sort of painting this very chaotic, punk-like, sexy image, and then the coke in her butt. And Aaron Carter, who's like this singer who died recently, I don't know. Is that a reference to Aaron Carter's music? I don't know, but you know what I do know? Is we're only 33 seconds into this song, okay? All this stuff I just described, because at 33 seconds, that's where the guitar line comes in. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, guitar, power chords in, all right? Think dun, 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 dun. So it's probably like down a half step, Beato, and then up to the fifth, okay? Finity, Beato, okay? I think that's what's happening here. And Mr. Mix, it becomes just abstract. Like the part where he's saying, big booty hoes, it's like, it's just the ho, like it's just, you don't hear the words anymore and it matches the guitar. And then you realize that JPEGMafia is really on some awesome avant-garde stuff because he is creating a song in which he is matching this cadence from an old rap song of someone saying big booty hoes and then matching it with this guitar line. Like just bizarre, wonderful. Then the guitar cuts out and it's just instrumental with just let me see you touch the ground. After that little instrumental moment, we're at 1 minute where all of a sudden we have a different guitar. It's a more heavy metal guitar. It's a lead guitar. It's not playing chords. It's playing more like kind of shredding guitar. And this is where Mr. Mix is totally out and he starts the second verse. I do what I do with a vengeance, Pegasus, Ben Had style, show out with class, give me detention. More lyrics, just how awesome he is, how hard he goes, he swings for the fences, he gets vengeance, etc. And then at 1 minute and 5 seconds, the big booty hoes come back in, and then these drums. These drums. Why? What makes JPEGMafia such a forward-thinking, fascinating producer to study? It's these drums, in particular, that fascinate me, because they're rough. They're real drums. This is not a drum machine. This is not, what's that term they use? Not syncretized. What's the word for drums where they're pocketed properly? Quantized, right? They're not quantized. Beato again. They're not quantized. They're just an actual drummer playing with like just in a room, and it's just rough. And then eventually the guitar, like the big booty keeps coming back, and it's sampled and it's cut up, and this is headbangers ball music. This is heavy metal. This is the second genre. We were in a kind of aggravating Miami-inspired big booty bounce aggro industrial hip hop space. Now we're in a heavy metal space, and then at 112 the drums start going super nuts, where we start hearing the drums are on each snare. And the snare's on all 4 notes, right? So and then now the guitar's doing tap licks. Okay, we're talking Eddie Van Halen. So tap licks are where you play guitar, not only play guitar with a pick like this, you strum it, right? Tap licks is where you take that hand, which usually just strums the notes, and you bring it out to hit individual notes on the fret. So that's how you can get things like, right? And really good guitar players can do that really well. They're using some tap licks on here. We're really in headbangers ball here. You do a lot for the mention. These are the lyrics. I spaz out in other dimensions. Don't say spaz, actually. It's not cool. It's not cool. It's actually an ableist term, but that's okay. We're going to keep moving on. About to take it to another level. My attraction came with a pension. Now some N-words gotta respect. With they getting real tired. I step in the room, every N-word inspired. Or N-words just hate because they showed admire. Now tell me what's flame to the fire. More of this idea of him being the real guy and everyone else being a cyber guy. Everyone else being an imaginary guy. Because they're doing it for mentions and he's in other dimensions. Awesome. I want more of this. Okay? In my increasingly less humble opinion, the essential statement of rap music is simply, I am the best. That is the most important thing that rappers have said from the very beginning of the art form until right now. I am the best, which of course at the heart of I am the best is I am, which is what makes it so important as a sort of declarative statement of existential existence when often marginalized in society, okay? Never take it as a joke. Never take it as a joke when rappers say how amazing they are. It's important stuff. It is actually socio-politically important beyond just being awesome and fun. And more interesting than drugs and cars, which are just different ways that people say I am the best. That's what rap is. It's 1,000 different ways of saying I am the best, okay? But here he's just keeping it simple. And of course, the girls like him. And then this leads back to the chorus again, mostly just guitar. And then we get a guitar solo at 1:30. Great rap songs with guitar solos. Tell me in the comments. Tell me in the comments. You stopped typing, right? You wrote down maybe 1 or 2. This is one of them. Around 1 minute 40 seconds, more of the Let Me See You Touch the Ground, but back with more of a guitar solo. It's shredding guitar. It's not really for headbanging, it's for shredding. And then we have this great staccato sentence. Do we have a problem? If you did not grow up in the 1990s, you do not have the pleasure of experiencing the movie Don't Be a Menace in South Central while sipping your juice in the hood. Okay? I believe I got the title correct. The movie, made by the Wayans brothers, is a parody of all the hood movies that had come out that decade. It came out in 1996, and it parodied all these great movies. It was a spiritual follow-up to I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, Unfortunately, I saw I'm Gonna Get You Sucker probably 100 times before I saw a single blaxploitation movie, so I didn't understand what they were making fun of. Whereas I had seen Juice and Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society before I saw this parody. So it's a great parody. And what you hear him say is, "Do we have a problem?" It's a scene with Marlon Wayans. They're all very talented. Marlon Wayans was sort of like not considered one of the best ones, but he's great in this role. He plays Loke Dog, hilarious fake name, and it's imitating. They're at the store. It's called Nines and Grams. It's a store to buy drugs and guns. It's 7-Eleven, and they go, and the sort of likable character, the Cuba Gooding Jr. style character, the sort of friendly guy, is just standing there, and all the neighborhood toughs pull up in a drop top, and they've got guns on them, and they say, "What's up now, toothpick?" And they pull a gun on him, and then Loke Dog comes to the rescue of his friend and says, "Do we have a problem?" And he pulls up his shirt, and he's got like 11 beepers, 11 pagers. Do you know the importance of Professor Skye pager? And like 3 guns, and then the people in the car come back with a rocket launcher. And then Marlon Wayans, as Loke Dog, has a mail truck and opens it up. And in that mail truck is a nuclear warhead titled USSR. And that's where he says, while moving around the nuclear warhead, "Do we have a problem?" On one hand, this is a great reference to an amazing piece of Black American culture. And it's comedy, and JPEGMafia wants us to know about this movie. He wants us to connect to it. He wants us to look it up. Great. But also, it's sort of what rap is, right? It's sort of like, hey, I've got a gun. I've got 5 guns. I've got a rocket launcher. I've got a nuclear warhead. This is, I think, JPEGMafia saying, "Do we have a problem?" This song is the nuclear warhead that he's pointing at every other rapper on planet Earth. Okay? As they stare at it in confusion. USR? At this point, it switches genres again. We're now in a weird kind of grimy techno world with these buzzy synths, altered voice, weird computer glitches. Still some of the guitar coming in. Thank God I didn't cheat with that B word yet. Get it in, get it out, get it off my chest. I'm G.I. Joe, falling down them steps. I'm a head honcho. I need a pistol. Made a mistake. I pay it in crypto. He keeps using all these sort of very online terms like crypto all the way throughout. And this, G.I. Joe falling down them steps. I don't really know what that reference is, but my mom didn't let me play a G.I. Joe because it was too much of Reaganite propaganda. She was right. And at the same time, so the drums on this whole part, if you look at who sampled, are actually the drums from Lynn Collins' Think, parentheses, About It, which of course is also used in It Takes Two to make a thing go right. So it has this really old school, almost house music techno feel. And then we're only 2 minutes in, and 2 minutes at 9 seconds, it gets super weird with this other synth sound. You got swag of a N-word from Chatterbait. You want to aggravate, stick talk, let the chopper elaborate. Chatterbait is a website which you've maybe seen advertised on certain websites. It's like a thing where people... I don't know. I've never been on the site. But it's like you masturbate while talking to people or looking at people. Point is, it's sort of an anti-incel kind of image. It ties right in with Don't Rely on Other Men. There's this real kind of theme coming around, which I think is important because he's also kind of taking shots at his own audience, as he was with Don't Rely on Other Men, as he appears to do quite often, because a lot, I would assume, the percentage of JPEGMafia fans who have seen multiple commercials for Chatterbait, the Venn diagram, the Venn diagram of like JPEGMafia fans and people who have seen a commercial for Chatterbait, it's just a circle, okay? So he's kind of making fun of them. And of course, in order to make that joke, you have to have seen the commercial yourself. You're making fun of yourself. Stick talk, let the chopper elaborate. So let the machine gun elaborate. And then the sound of guns. And that ties back again to the "do we have a problem?" This is the sort of end, the sort of fake violence. And the guitar comes back in. And it just made me realize this time on the 10th listen to the song, it reminds me a lot of the song Digital Love, but Digital Love. Digital Love by Daft Punk. where it's just got great guitar and super funky. 2 minutes and 20 seconds, more automated arpeggio keyboard, another loopy synth comes in, and then we're still at the Big Booty Ho cadence and rhythm, but we're far away from Big Booty Ho. There's no more Mr. Mix in the mix anymore. More like Mr. Not in the Mix at the end of the song. Am I right, guys? What's the deal? Then 2 minutes and 34 seconds, we have these claps on the 2 and 4. Why is he so great? Why is he always on the line? Okay, because the 2 and the 4 are slightly behind, okay? So if we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. He's slightly behind, okay? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. It's like just slightly behind. And then the keyboard that was kind of arpeggiated goes out of sync, so that in the middle of all this, we have some actual polyrhythm. We have things falling apart. We are going in and out of freak out and gibberish. And we have the 3 genres. We have the 3 sounds. Where are we right now, Mr. Drummargret? Oh my God. I'll briefly touch on the video. It goes through the 3 genres. It starts off in like this weird industrial park with like these torn fishnets and these strippers, the aforementioned Big Booty Hose. He's like riding around on a Jeep with an American flag on it. It's sort of weird, almost like redneck imagery because he's wearing a cowboy hat, and then the cowboy hat falls off, and that's where you're like, hey, he's got wonderful hair again. What's up with that? Then like this, there's like a dude in the back who's like the same dude from the last video, who's a sort of parody of a super online, pasty, pale JPEGMafia fan. I think that's who it is. I think we're supposed to see ourselves in the mirror, if you are like me, a pasty JPEGMafia fan. And it's all done with sort of like intentional distortion from like a 90s camera. Then they drive to a party with punks, very stylized punks, and then they're in an underpass. And in this underpass, it becomes like a punk video, like a heavy metal video, almost like Mad Max. It's like this bondagey woman playing guitar in like a Catwoman mask. Pretty cool. This weird kind of demonic women kissing each other, like body parts everywhere. Cuts to this sort of bored dude looking down, like, what are these guys doing? And then it switches to basically a rave at the end with the electronic part. The same way the song goes through 3 sections, the video goes through 3 sections, then it ends calmly with just this like slow motion bit. So there you go, huh? There's a 23-minute video on a 3-minute song. But that's what we got to do with JPEGMafia. These are my Patreons. They help me to buy music. I'm going to buy a lot more JPEGMafia because I really enjoy his music. I asked if any of them wanted a shout-out. Chris Marin, Jonathan Lauder, Caius Clemens, Zach, and I got to give a special shout-out to Leon, who has given me the highest amount you can give me to review the Ghost Tapes by Devin Hendricks. So look for that. I'll also be putting that out when I'm in the hospital waiting for my next baby. All right. Well, until next time. There's a camera.